Hi everyone, this is Martina from BellaVie PhotoArt. We're all in a corona crisis right now and a lot of countries are in a complete lockdown, and that's why I've decided to make a free tutorial for you in English how to edit a black photo. English is not my native language, so I hope you can understand me very well. If I do have some terms wrong, excuse me for that, but I still hope you can understand me. We use this photo shoot I did a few weeks ago. I did a photo shoot with two Frisian horses, one gelding and one stallion, and the whole purpose of this shoot was to make the black photos of these horses. And we put the horses in front of a stable or a shed where the light was on the horse and the background was already a little bit black, but still we have to edit it more afterwards. The other purpose of this photo shoot was not to have the horse stand very beautifully like we normally would like to have as in a black photo, but we want him to have an expression that you do not often see. So we want him to have the neck curled in a way that is also natural, but still a little bit different than what we normally do. And so we did it like this. And what we're going to do now is, this is the unedited photo, and turn this photo into this edited one. We start in Lightroom. And sorry guys, my Lightroom version is still in Dutch, but we go to Photoshop quite quickly, and that's an English version. The first, there are a few things I would like to do in Lightroom, and that is to make the photo a square photo. And therefore we go here. I don't know the name of the English term here, but then we go see if the lock is closed, and next to which you can choose the 1 by 1 to make a square, and I drag the photo into my selection like this. See, I think I want it to be here. And then I click again on here, or I click enter, and then I have my square base. Next thing I'm going to do in Lightroom is to get some colors out of it. I don't want to put my saturation off in a whole of the whole photo. I'm going to choose my orange colors to go desaturated, and my yellow colors, and maybe here there's also a little bit purple or magenta. Just let me see, is that magenta? Yeah, a little bit. I'm going to get that one out. This does nothing again. So it will be almost black and white, but still there's a little bit color in it. I like it. And then I go and lower my black tones and higher my white tones to get a little bit more contrast, like this. And from this point I will go to Photoshop. With Control or Command E will open the photo in Photoshop. And here we are in the English version. The first thing I'm going to do is make a copy of the background layer, and I do that with Control or Command J. And what we need to do in this photo is remove all the things we don't want to have in this photo. For instance, the photo halter, like this. And that's what I'm going to start with. For that, Photoshop has a lot of options. I'm going to use for this my lasso tool. I'm zoom in a little bit with Control or Command plus. And I just go around a piece of the photo halter, and I let go here, because then you always find the first point where I started. My right mouse button, and I click on Fill. And here I choose Content Aware, and I say OK. And then he has to choose himself, and he looks in the surroundings where he can fill it with, and he does that quite well. When I want to deselect, I click Control or Command D. I think he did it quite well. Maybe this I correct a little bit later. But first we're going to try to see how it works on this piece by his ear. I'm not sure whether he will do it quite all right. He has a little bit of a hiccup here. And then I go to my clone stamp and correct it with the clone stamp. Just go from here and follow his ear like that. Okay. Then we go to this area below and we go to the lasso tool again. And I'm going to grab a big selection right now. And see how it does it. Fill again, content aware, and let me see. He does it quite well. Don't like this area. So I do this again. I like that, don't like this. And I think this might be a little bit lighter, but to do that smoothly I can also use my clone stamp, and instead of my opacity 100 I go to around 50 and get my clone stamp from here and just go with a 50% opacity like that to let it be a little bit more smooth. Okay, we go to my lasso tool again, just see if we can correct this a bit. Beautiful. And then we can remove this piece. We can also do that by painting it black, but we're playing with the lasso tool right now, so let's do that. And he says go. Let me see, just zoom in a little bit. You always have to check. You see it's a little bit wrong here. And I go to my clone stamp and just get the dark color here and correct it. Okay. As I say, normally I don't shoot a black photo with a person standing behind it. You can easily get a black color to fill the background. The hardest part here are these little hairs that I also want to see in my end result. But let's see how we'll do that. First of all, make a copy of the layer again. With the eye, I get to my color picker and I pick a dark color in this photo. It's enough. Then I go to my B to go to the brush, make my brush a bit bigger. And with a black horse in a black photo, you don't have to select the horse totally and turn the selection around and then fill it in. You can also go here. Oh, I got the opacity on 50, need to be at 100. Go around here with your black brush, because if, I don't know how to explain it in English quite well, but if the black goes a little bit here, just a little bit, it still looks very natural. So this piece is already good black, and this is good black, and I just paint it in. This is the easy part. And here I'm going to have to be a little bit more careful. Just make my brush a little bit smaller, follow the line here. And I don't touch the hair. I'll deal with the hair later. When it's a white horse or a light horse, I do make a selection of the horse and go black around it. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a bit to see exactly what I'm doing. fill in all these spots. Yeah, now I've done everything, but still have to do this area with these hair. Sorry, I don't know exactly. Hair is multiple. Doesn't matter. I am sure you understand what I mean here. Well, okay, I'm going to show you a way that I find the most natural and easy way to get the background more dark and still see these hair. And for that, I'm going to make a copy of the layer again. I'm going to use my Dutch and Burn tool, or actually I'm just going to use my Burn tool and put this on the shadows. And what the Burn tool does is to darken the dark colors in the photo, but leave the light colors alone. And that's exactly what we would like to have here. So with my Burn tool, I just go over these hair. And look how beautiful they come out. And it's such a good thing to still see these details, because if I just use my black brush and go over it, all the hairs will be gone. And this is very, very natural. I zoom out. This is what I like. Still, I have to darken a spot here, go to my color picker again and to my brush. This can be quite roughly. That's okay. And what I would like to do now in Photoshop is make the horse a little bit more darker. I go to my adjustment layer, to the curves, and drag it down in the middle to get the midtones darker. And still would like to have a little bit more contrast here as well. So I upper my highlights. And I can even lower my shadows a bit. I like it here on the neck. Still, I think this is too dark. Therefore, I go, just want to click this away. Therefore, I go to my mask, go to my black brush, and it's now 100% opacity. I go to 74, 75, and I remove it from his head here. So you see still the details in his head. Okay, I make one layer, Shift Control Alt E, so I see all the layers below, but still have all the adjustments here in this layer. And the next thing I'm going to do is I want to have his eye popped out a little bit more. For that, I always look if there is already a little light in the eye, because there are several ways to do this, and I see a little light. So I return to my Dutch and Burn tools. I go to my Dutch tool, go here to highlights, and just try to get this, bam, and you still have instantly the shine in his eye. If this is a little bit too much, you can lower the opacity of the layer. I do that a little bit. And that's okay. Let me see. I think this is fine. I make one layer out of all, Shift Control E, and with Control or Command W, I go back to Lightroom to do one last thing. And that's what I actually very, very rarely do in a photo, but with a black photo, sometimes I use it, and I go all the way down, go to my vignette, and get a black vignette on this photo. If you want a little bit more shine on the horse, you can easily upper your white tones here. You see? If there is a little bit shine on the horse already, you can get more shine like this. And I think this one is okay. So we're from, let me see, was it this photo? This photo we started with, and we make it this photo. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck with it when you try it yourself. Bye bye.